Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. Let me start with a question. We all use airplanes, don't we?
Yes.
Why do we use them? Let me answer this question for you. We use them because they are the fastest way of transportation in these days. And they are also claimed to be the safest one. But are they as safe as they are mentioned? In the past few days, we have heard about the missing Malaysia Airlines plane. So, let's see how safe are these giant machines. In my presentation, first I'll talk about essential parts of an airplane. Then I'll talk about the history of some airplane safety system. And finally, I'll give you some statistics about airplanes and other methods of transportation. Now, let's look at some essential parts of an airplane. In this slide, we see the essential parts of an airplane, but there is one system that operates with almost all of these parts, and the most important one. It's the hydraulic system. As Michael Seinel explains in his article, hydraulic systems is the most important part of an airplane. Airplane hydraulic systems use pressured liquid to perform physical work. As Michael explains, a typical jet hydraulic system pressures liquid to components, and this pressure effectively operates motors that run flight controls, raise landing gear, and operate cargo doors, among other functions. So, in order to summarize this slide, we have learned that hydraulics is a must for an airplane. In the lack of hydraulics, an airplane will absolutely crash. So, now let's listen to the story of an airplane. Beginning from their invention, airplanes became the most important transportation vehicles in the world. Here are some historical data of some important inventions of airplanes. The first automatic pilot was invented in 1914. It was actually gyroscope which used sensors to maintain the flight level and the direction of the airplane. It is much likely a primitive autopilot. Then in 1932, the radio navigation systems were invented, which was like a blind landing and a radar system. And I have mentioned about how important was the hydraulic systems, and the first hydraulic flight control system was invented in 1940s. And finally, the aircraft communication systems, which is used in communicating among the towers, is invented in 1978. So, let's not bore you with these historical data and move to some statistics. I have constructed a graph from the article titled "How Safe is Commercial Flight?" In this graph, we see some transportation methods compared with airplane and their probabilities of death. We see that car has the highest possibility of death compared to other transportation methods, and airplane seems to be the safest one. As stated in the article, MIT professor who has done extensive research on commercial flight safety systems explains that if you did fly every day of your life, probability indicates that it would take you 19,000 years before you would succumb to a fatal accident. 19,000 years. Can you imagine? It's a very long time. So, allow me to cap this brief tour of airplanes with a few final thoughts. We have learned that hydraulics is an essential system for airplanes, and in the lack of hydraulic system, an airplane will crash. We have seen that airplanes have been studied professionally for over a century, and many inventions and improvements have been done in airplane systems. We have learned that that risk of a passenger is 1 in 45 million flights. So, in the latest slide, we have seen that compared to other transportation methods, airplanes are the safest one, and they have the lowest probability of death. So, putting all this information together, we can say that if the hydraulic systems doesn't cause a problem, you will travel in safe. Thank you for listening to me. I have one last word. Remember what the MIT professor told us, 19,000 years. None of us will live that long. So, why not give yourself some comfort and fly away? Thank you very much.